and welcome back to another episode of the First Issue Club podcast, the weekly podcast where we cover and discuss the first issues of the week, the hottest and most tantalizing issues, the issues that are, the most coveted and sought after. We peruse and we select the most delectable, and we give them to you. Because 5 years ago, we all found this sacred dagger, and we all cut our hands and became comic book blood brothers, and we made a vow there on the rocky moors of whatever country we were on. And we said, we will do this till the day we die. We cannot miss a week. We must give these first issue reviews. The audiences and the listeners demand it. And that's what we've been doing.
And then half of you quit, and then you got me.
Yeah. When we've yet to do a bloodletting with you. So the contract still hasn't officially been signed.
Got it. Now I understand.
But before we get started, I am Greg. With me is...
am Vargas. Yeah, I interrupt you now.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain.
You've been here long enough where you can introduce yourself, and I'm sorry. I should have let you do that. I shouldn't have stepped on your toes. So
yeah, that's right. I'm pulling a Captain remotely. Phillips.
I'm pulling a Sully. I'm gonna land this thing on the Hudson.
Okay.
I'm gonna blame it on some geese. And I think the only real bird that caused that plane to crash was the wild turkey in Sully's drink, if you know what I mean.
That's a good bit. That's a really good bit.
Before we get into the news and the reviews, a quick reminder: we are on Patreon. We do a bunch of bonus episodes, a bunch of videos, and just a whole lot of extra stuff that we can't contain in the main episode. So if you want more of that, go to patreon.com/first-issue-club. Also, we are on YouTube. Yeah, I think you can just search First Issue Club. Andy has been putting our episodes up on there. So if you want to see what we look like when we're talking, head on over to YouTube. We're on most social medias. C2E2 is right around the corner, and it has been announced finally, so we can talk about it on the show. Andy and I will be doing a panel with our friends over on the Oblivion Bar podcast and the Shortbox podcast. We'll be doing a crossover live episode straight from C2E2, unscripted, unrehearsed, and unfiltered.
And unwashed.
And unwashed. I'm going to be so stinky for that show. I'm just going to use Lindbergh cheese for soap.
Perfect.
And I'll still be better smelling than a lot of attendees at C2E2. Oh, the funk is strong. Uptown Funk gonna be at Comic-Con. That's what I always say.
Yes.
What else? I think that's the big news right now. So we're going to be doing that C2E2 panel. It's the first time doing a panel at C2E2. It's a little nerve-wracking. Thankfully, it's on Friday, so it won't be as high traffic, but I'm expecting at least a minimum of 400 people in attendance to see our live episode. So
hell yeah.
I'll bring enough stickers for everyone, because C2E2 doesn't have a sticker ban at their convention.
Of course.
Much like other conventions that I know.
Yeah, Greg, it costs them almost $1,000 to remove.
However, will they recoup that loss?
Jesus Christ.
Practically bankrupt you. We are without Mike D this episode. He's been traveling. He hoped that he could be here today, but there were some layover issues. So either he's still flying or ignoring us. And since we're recording remotely, he may just pop in randomly. So we may be doing this episode as normal as could be, and then all of a sudden we were screaming because Mike D shows up in the chat, which is what we typically do when Mike D shows up.
It's true. When Mike D's not here, I am Mike depressed.
Oh, man, we are full of... Do we even need Mike D anymore? We have this under control.
No, the Noise Boys are here.
Oh, my God. Andy, you are an idea machine today. Make room for the Noise Boys.
Here we are.
Flush. Oh, no. We've turned into the morning zoo.
We're always the morning zoo, Greg. That's why we're the Noise Boys.
98.9 The Spec with the Noise Boys. Bringing the heat. We do have some news to cover, and then some first issues. So before we get into news, I do want to address something that has been going on in the comic book world that has, well, it's tough to talk about because over the week, Ed Piskor, who is a renowned comic book artist and a big community supporter, passed away at the age of 41. He tragically, I guess I hate when people say that, tragically, he took his own life due to a lot of allegations that are coming out about him that I won't speak on and we won't speak on as a show because there just isn't enough information out there for us to talk about it. And I know that as a show, we pride ourselves on talking about breaking news and stuff that is happening in the community, but we decided as a show to kind of step back and listen more than talk during this time to fully understand what's going on and to really take in all the information that we can get. And right now, there just isn't enough for us to really talk about it in a respectful manner to all parties. And so we have chosen for this episode and for probably future episodes to not talk about it. But what we will say, and what we think is the important thing to learn from this, is that no matter how big and scary the world may seem and how out of control you are of certain situations and outcomes, you are not. You are not alone. No matter what you may be thinking in the moment, there will be someone who misses you so much if you decide to take your life in a way that is irreversible. So we want to remind you here at First Issue Club, if you have these thoughts or if you're just feeling lost or you know, the suicide hotline is a lifeline for people to use. They have professionals there to talk you through situations. I know it's scary to maybe call that number, but those people are there to help you. That you're not in trouble if you do. People will not be mad or put out if you call that hotline. The hotline is there to help you and to talk you through situations and to get you the tools and into programs that can help you find the light that you can't find right now. So that's the main thing we want to talk about and express from the Ed Piskor situation.
Well,
and did you have anything to say or?
No, you put it well. Ain't no problem out there that can't be fixed. So
truly,
stay positive, stay happy. If there is one community that is both the highest and the lowest, it's probably comic books. Mm-hmm. So for every negative feeling that's out there in this community, I like to think there are at least two positive feelings.
Yeah.
So try and stay focused on the good stuff, because the bad stuff can't stay bad forever.
That's true. So that is where we are going to leave our commentary on the Ed Piskor situation. We will leave that to other people to discuss and to talk about, just out of respect for everyone involved and for the just lack of general information out there about it. We will not be commenting on it.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, seems like a weird shift, but Rob Liefeld is doing a tell-all about Marvel and Image in his Robservations memoir coming out in 2025.
Oh my God,
Andy, I don't know about you. It seems a little lazy to call it Robservations, which is basically his podcast name.
Oh my God. I can't believe he stole observations from me.
Sue him.
Jesus.
This is not surprising.
No.
I'm surprised this is the first time he's done it. Rob is a pivotal figure. No denying that.
Yeah.
He has been, in one way or another, a part of every pivotal move in comic books since the 90s.
For sure.
And you cannot deny that statement.
No.
Good or bad. I mean, take it for what it is. Rob Liefeld has been attached in one way or the other.
There's no denying he has made a huge impact on the industry. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what this book ends up being.
It's going to be nothing but fluff.
Well, I'm extremely interested in reading about the industry, especially like starting the world's most successful indie publisher, from the inside. That's really interesting.
Well, and then on the same coin, almost bankrupting the most important indie publisher that he helped create.
Yeah, but given who it's coming from, it's going to be incredibly biased.
Well, and I think most memoirs are.
Right. Yeah, I guess you're right. He's not trying to write a
scathing think piece about himself.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So
I was a real piece of shit.
I mean, I guess maybe he'll say
he might surprise us. I am interested to see what's in the book. More so because I feel like he's not going to be spilling tea about himself, but maybe other people.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. This is kind of the drama I do enjoy about comic books.
Oh yeah, I'm all in. I'm definitely going to be buying this book.
Yeah. So that'll be coming out in 2025. I mean, this could essentially just be a coffee table book of podcast quotes from his show. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what conversation he hasn't already had that he's saving for a book.
That's amazing. I hadn't even thought about that idea. That it's like literally like poetry.
Oh, haikus
made by Rob Liefeld. But it's just like, ooh, the grass is in fact green. As the money I make from Deadpool.
Yes. I want this to be like a giant Anne Leibovitz photo journal of his. It's like, man, this is mostly just out of focus pictures of puddles. This kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, it's his Robservations. He's Robserving those puddles.
It's just him trying to do like stand up. Like it's like this is my tight 15 that I'm gonna try out on the Tonight Show.
Incredible. Rob, do all that.
What's the deal with Deadpool?
What's the deal with Deathstroke?
Have you ever noticed that Wade Wilson can't die?
Deadpool. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Have you seen this guy? Yeah. So I don't know. Dynamite gets the license for Terminator for the 40th anniversary. We talked a little bit about this on the Patreon already.
Yeah.
There's a Kickstarter coming next week that will be showcasing the collected works from other publishers. Now that Dynamite has it, they can republish that stuff, which is primarily why these people purchase these licenses, right? To just rebrand and reprint stuff to make money.
Yeah.
And so they'll be doing that. There's some new stories also slated to come out. IDW, unfortunately, is continuing to lay off the staff over there. And it has been noted that since last year, they're down 40% of employees. So whatever is happening in IDW, they're really trimming the fat to try to stay afloat.
Which sucks because like the last two IDW books that I read, Antarctica and Beneath the Trees, are killer books.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're putting out just phenomenal content, but I mean, I guess that just doesn't pay the bills at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we read that prior to Dynamite purchasing the Terminator licensing, it was owned by IDW.
Yeah.
So IDW is selling off these licenses in like a fire sale situation.
Yeah.
So, I'm pulling for everyone that works at IDW or has worked at IDW. It's a great publisher. I just don't know what they need to do to stop the hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Hopefully they can ride it out.
You posted that the Superman 8.5 sold for $6.4 million.
No, flat six.
Flat six.
Yep.
Flat six. Not as impressive now.
Well, I mean, it still is an 8.5 Action 1, highest selling comic of all time. 6 bills, as the kids say.
And it's from a collection called the Kansas City Pedigree, which is cool for us because we are based out of Kansas City. 8.5 is bonkers for an Action Comics #1.
It's especially because it's not the highest graded copy out there. Highest graded copy is a 9.0.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who are these people that have just like had the foresight to just... Did they even have bags and boards back when that comic came out?
No, man. I don't know how. I don't know how books like that make it.
Put it in the freezer or something. Yeah,
for real. Like it had to have gotten, on the bottom of a box or something. Top of a box of books. And just
I'd be curious if like a safe deposit box wasn't involved.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Like someone had the foresight to be like, some 10-year-old kid's just like, I need to protect this at all costs.
This Superman guy, I think he's got legs.
This has legs. This is going to go places. Meanwhile, the same kid has Mickey Mantle baseball cards in his bike spokes.
Yeah,
hitting a metal wheel down the road with a stick.
Yeah.
These little rascals are crazy.
Boy, this Hitler guy doesn't seem to be any good news, does he?
Yeah. The news coming out of Germany is kind of unsettling.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you have the name in front of you. Who is the new Silver Surfer for the MCU?
Shala Ball.
Okay.
Who is Silver Surfer's girlfriend?
Yeah. Silver Surfer's who's the actress?
Oh, I don't actually have... No, do I have it in front of me? No, I don't.
You should. Damn it.
I don't.
Anyway.
Hang on.
People are conflicted with this casting because typically when you hear Silver Surfer, you think of Norrin Rad, and we are not getting Norrin Rad, essentially.
Julia Garner.
Julia Garner, that's right. I don't know what she's been in.
I'll look that up too.
So, people are conflicted. Some people are just like, oh, this is awesome. Some people are being misogynist. Shocker.
What? I am shocked.
Yeah.
She was in The Assistant and Ozark. Perks of Being a Wallflower. She was in Sin City. Oh, she was in We Are What We Are. That movie's awesome. The Americans. Bunch of stuff.
Okay. Vetted Pro. That's cool.
Vetted Pro.
I'm actually getting more and more excited about the Fantastic Four movie. The casting seems just so spot on.
What is making me excited is the direction they're taking, like all the advertising.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody out there didn't see it today, Marvel posted a I don't know, a poster. I would call it a teaser, but it's just kind of like a fun like art thing for Fantastic Four Day because it's 4/4. It's on their website, and there's two cool things about it. Number one, three cool things. Number one, it is very Art Deco, like 60s styled.
Mm-hmm.
If you click it, you get a 404 page not found error page that features Robbie the robot. But on it is a QR code, and if you scan the QR, you get digital access to like 5 different FF books that inspired the movie. So you get...
That's brilliant.
You get, FF1, you get that first appearance of Galactus, you get some Silver Surfer stuff. So it's all very cool. I am particularly jazzed about the idea of them really like changing up the stuff that we know about the Fantastic Four. I like the idea of casting a female Silver Surfer.
Yeah, it seems like it's just like Silver Surfer to me hasn't been a thing of just like it needs to be Norrin Rad or it needs to be like a man. It's like I like that shakeup. I like that little kind of twist. And rumor going around is that Galactus will be the main bad, for the movie. What? Like, and it's just like no shit. It can't be anyone else.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You can't have Mole Man be your first villain. Like, what a dud.
Yeah, for real.
So,
yeah, I'm stoked about it. I can't wait to see Pedro Pascal use the ultimate nullifier.
I can't wait to see him without a shirt on because I'm sure it's going to happen. And the guy's a smoke show.
He's going to be stretchy hot daddy,
which was my nickname in college. So that's fine.
I believe it. What else do you have to say about Fantastic Four? Anything?
No.
Okay, good. I want to yell about Detective Comics.
Go for it.
So over the weekend, DC did a cool thing. And to celebrate 85 years of Batman, they gave away free reprint copies of Detective 27, First Batman, at like a newsstand in New York. They're the same as any other Detective 27 reprint that you can find out there, except on the back, they've got a Batman 85 years like back to it, right? Whatever. Mm-hmm. Nothing. It's very cool because they're giving away free comics. It's very cool because it's Detective 27. But what's not cool is that people are selling them for $30 on eBay, and that makes me hate it.
I don't see why. I don't know why you're surprised with this.
I'm not surprised, Greg, but I am disappointed.
I mean, that should just be the tagline of the show. Just like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like, we nerds cannot have a nice thing ever.
Yeah, it just sucks. It just is the worst that this hobby that we love so much is so intertwined with the capitalist system that I'm so desperate to tear down.
Yeah. But also be actively a part of.
I mean, yeah.
Because if those books were $10, I'd be buying one.
You would?
Yes, because I couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be in New York at that one specific spot to get that one book, right?
Yeah.
I can kind of see why they're $25, which is just out of my reach of fun niche thing to seek out.
Yeah.
But if they were $10, I would 100,000% be buying one.
Yeah. $30 is way too much. You're asking too much, people. I'll say that.
With shipping included.
Yeah.
Sorry about you.
Yep. All right, what else you got? I'm done yet.
I think that's it with all the real new stuff I had. I know there's been a lot of shakeups with Skybound hirings, and there's some editor issues for Batman going on right now with DC.
Oh.
So I know there's just a lot of up in the air stuff right now, but no real news stuff to report.
Yeah, we still Mike D and I reported last week that Bleeding Cool had like a Nothing Burger article teasing like shakeups in the big two.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing has come of that yet that I have seen. You know, Jim Lee has not announced that he's going to Marvel.
Fuck, can you imagine? I think while I was reading the IDW article from Bleeding Cool, he was just like, this is one of the things I was talking about with shakeups with, you know, the IDW shoe dropping for this. And like, he says there's still more to come, which is kind of like a soothsayer's way of just like skirting around that they don't know what's happening. So it's just like, you know, I can say something bad's going to happen every day. And then when it does happen, I can say, see, I told you something bad was going to happen.
Yeah. Then you're just a weatherman, right?
God, just the best job in the goddamn world.
All right. Well, if there's no more news, let's move on to the whole point of this thing we call a podcast.
Who's the better kisser, Hulk or Bruce Banner?
You know, that's great question.
We'll cover it on next week's Patreon.
You can find my dissertation later tonight on the website. No, let's talk about some number ones. So
let's talk about Ghost Machine. Let's do it.
Oh, right on the top. We're hitting it hard.
They launched 3 in a day.
Yes.
Unheard of.
This week was Ghost Machine week. So Greg and I both
a truly spooky week.
A truly spooky, ghoulish week. We both read
Redcoat.
Redcoat. Did you read their preview thing that they did?
You brought it onto the show with us.
I did.
We covered it. Yeah.
Okay. So before we start, since I'm talking about all 3, I have to point out the fact that all 3 of the B covers for these books connect. If you can see it on my shitty camera.
Over on the YouTube, yeah. Okay.
And then Redcoat connects on this other side.
Sure. Looky there.
Which I think it's dope.
That's Brian. It's Brian Hitch, right? Who did that?
Yeah, Brian Hitch did the art.
Okay.
So if you're gonna get all 3, my vote goes toward the B covers for all 3 because they connect. All right. Let's talk Redcoat.
Let's talk Redcoat, please.
What'd you think?
So I guess I had a theme this week because I read Redcoat and I also read Deadpool. Both feature wise talking main characters who refuse to die and cannot die, and both wear red.
Yep.
And both, in my opinion, had confusing and meandering books this week.
Yeah.
Redcoat, and I hope it's just this first issue's problem, is relying heavily on gags about like folks from the Revolutionary era and Ben Franklin and Paul Revere. And it's just like, I do not like this. This seems hokey.
Yeah, it was like more than half the book was this guy being Deadpool.
Yeah,
throughout U.S.
in like
history.
The 1800s, just like what? It's like a what if Deadpool hooked up with Betsy Ross, and you're just like, I don't really know if I wanted that book.
Yeah,
but I do. It's just. We don't really. I'm stumbling here. I'm sorry, but it's just like I don't get the point of this character yet.
Yeah, I think I understand the direction that they're headed.
Oh, and to top it all off, his fucking short round in this book is going to be fucking Albert Einstein.
Yeah, so that's the direction they're headed is that this guy Redcoat, Simon Pure. Hey!
Well. We said it was going to happen, and it happened. Mid-episode, and we are joined by our beautiful angel baby, Mike D.
I got stuck in an airport way too long, but I'm so glad to see you guys.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Does his voice sound different? You sound like you're talking like a helium balloon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like for real.
Oh, maybe it's because now that I've gone on my trip to Miami, I came back not a virgin.
Oh.
And doesn't that happen when you become a man? Your voice gets a little higher pitched?
Mr. Worldwide over here. Dale.
How bad do I sound?
You honestly sound like you've been sucking helium.
You do.
Really?
Yes. It's something. Did you turn a knob on your main board?
Yeah. Is your...
You sound like a chipmunk. Like you're like the 4th chipmunk. It's Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and Mike D.
Mike D.
Let me leave and I'll come back.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Cook. Yeah. It's like, I feel like we're in A Christmas Story, and that was like the ghost of Christmas past just came in to say, "Hey,
it's fine. It's fine."
So back to Redcoat. Where do you think it's going?
So I think this guy's going to wind up getting like obviously more drawn into the mystical stuff that they had with Ben Franklin being part of some weird society.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Einstein is going to be part of that society or fighting against that society somehow.
Right.
And this guy being the whatever bearer of that magic that was supposed to be Ben Franklin's magic is going to be some sort of key to defeating the bad guy, whoever the bad guy is. So I get the like archetype that they're going for, where this guy is like a reluctant hero who has to discover why he was given this power, you know? But yeah, I will agree with you that I didn't necessarily need like 20 pages of him being a goofball through time.
No, I agree. Mike D, welcome back.
Is it any better?
Sorry.
What the hell? The effects aren't on.
Okay. So, well, if you're just good sounding like a chipmunk for the whole episode.
No, it's going to be way too annoying. I hope it's fun for people listening that I popped in for 2 seconds as a chipmunk.
It was.
What the hell?
That is very strange.
You know what's funny? I just heard a little bit of feedback from you guys, and it does. I do sound like a little weasel.
Check the treble knob on your board.
Treble knob.
Yeah, like you should have like a high, medium, and low.
Is there a helium leak in your house?
Did the plane like drop its masks and the masks were full of helium?
Did the pressure drop in the plane? Anyway, like I'm not here to like crap on Redcoat, but it's just like I'm gonna need a more definitive reason to read this book than ye old Deadpool.
Yeah. The meat and potatoes stuff that was in the last like 7 pages or whatever with Einstein were way more intriguing than the rest of the book.
Yeah. Do you have any clue or guesses on who the mysterious person off panel is in the last frame?
I mean, I think it's going to be another historical figure, right?
Oh, it has to be.
So is it going to be, Ben Franklin back for revenge because he stole the power?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
The only way this book gets good is if there's like a wooden George Washington mech.
See,
like if you're gonna lean into it, you fucking better lean into it.
And that's the stuff that I'm really hoping Jeff Johns goes for, because like, yeah, this could be like a Hellboy book almost, right? Like,
because the implications of introducing a young Albert Einstein as like a sidekick, you better fucking land this. Like it better be huge. Like you need to go bonkers with it, because like why else introduce Albert Einstein Jr., voiced by Louis Anderson, in this book? Because it can't be a throwaway. It just can't.
No, I think you're right. It's going to be his short round for this story. But then there's the flip side to this too, right? Where like somehow Redcoat is going to tie into the rest of the unnamed universe, right? Mm-hmm. Which mostly takes place in the present day or near future.
Yeah, because he shows up in Geiger, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean,
he's gonna be living. Whatever happens in this story, he's gonna make it.
Yeah,
because this story takes place in the past, and Geiger takes place 25 years from now.
I swear to Christ, if this Redcoat character teaches Einstein math, I'm gonna be so pissed, just so incredibly angry.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you can put your mind at ease, Craig.
I'm gonna teach Einstein how to take a funny picture with his tongue sticking out. I'm Redcoat.
So what would you recommend Redcoat, and who would you recommend it to?
If anyone listening here is all in on the Ghost Machine bit or timeline stuff, 1000% get Redcoat, because this is I feel like what Valiant wishes they could do.
That's a great way to put it.
And like
for sure.
I wish Valiant could get out of its own way with storytelling. And they're gonna try to. I read somewhere that they're like rebranding and reissuing all their number ones. They're like starting their new universe all over. So that's gonna be great. Hope they can fucking do that. But this Ghost Machine stuff is what they wish that they could do. You have semi-serious goofballs. There's time travel, like heady shit. Like I hope it succeeds. So if you're all in on the Ghost Machine stuff, then pick up Redcoat.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it. Redcoat's like an Archer and Armstrong.
Yeah.
If
they were one person.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I wanted to say too is that all these books were $3.99.
Love that.
And they were big old beefy boys. So
it was a super long read.
No, they weren't.
In the kindest way possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a quick read. It was a nice breezy read. Mike D, how we doing over there? Before we jump into the next book.
All right, apparently I have a sample rate issue.
Oh.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
I don't have the ability to change my sample rate to match you guys. So I'm just going to drop off. But great to see you fellas.
Oh.
Yes, great to see you too, my friend. Hopefully we can get together this weekend or possibly some other time.
Yeah.
Salute. Simon! Theodore!
Oh, I'm actually going to miss Chipmunk Mike D. Bye.
Bye, Mike. Oh, man.
That's tragic.
You know, he did want a hula hoop for Christmas. So
yeah. And God damn it, we're going to get him one.
We're going to get him one.
So what else came out today in the Ghost Machine line?
So I'll go to Geiger next because it's connected to Redcoat. So I know we talked about this when I brought Ghost Machine to the pod, but there's a couple of things to keep in mind with this universe. Their connected universe is called the Unnamed. And
yes,
the big ones in that are Redcoat and Geiger, Junkyard Joe, First Ghost is in that universe. There's a timeline in the back of the book that kind of gives you all the books that are in that universe. So Geiger is, would you call it their flagship book? I think it's probably their flagship because that was Jeff Johns and Gary Frank's big hit that kind of spawned this. And it's about, it's a continuation of the story, right?
I can't see any other book getting as popular as Geiger is, unless it's First Ghost. If that book is what I think it's going to be, I'm buying 1,000 copies.
Yeah, so Geiger's about a guy who's like post-apocalyptic. He's got glowy ghost powers, and he John Wicks through this arid wasteland that was our world and tries to right the wrongs. This first issue is, I guess, a little bit interesting because he's got a little guy following him around who says that he has met or knows of a guy who was like our boy Geiger, but got cured. So Geiger's very interested in that. And then at the end of the book, we get a tease of a guy who also has some kind of radiation power that is chasing Geiger. So a little bit more straightforward, I think, than what Redcoat was. But again, these books are in the same shared universe. And I don't know why you would make that so clear unless you're leading to some sort of a crossover event where Redcoat and Geiger kiss, right?
Yeah. I don't know what the event will be called.
Yeah.
Unless it's just like the generational war or something, like something silly. But to create all of these characters in this shared universe and not have them meet seems Pid?
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna have them team up for some kind of summer blockbuster event at some point. Probably next year, because it would be a little quick to have an event. But no, I mean, Geiger was fun. I think it was probably, of the 3 Ghost Machine books that came out, personal preference, I think it was the weakest. But that's not saying that it was bad. It just was like, kind of, it was the most familiar, for sure. Like, just a straight up kind of action book with like an action guy at the helm. You know?
Yes, I know.
Okay. That's it. That's kind of all I got.
What was the other one?
The last one I read was Rook Exodus.
Oh, this is the one about the bird masks and all the masks and animal stuff.
That is correct. This is not part of the shared universe.
Yet.
Yeah, yet.
They're like on a different planet, right?
They are on a different planet. They were sent there to colonize this planet. Of course, that shit went awry. The hook to this book, I guess, is that a lot of the survivors on this planet are what they call wardens, and they each have a helmet that controls a different animal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the titular Rook, the name of the planet is Exodus, and also he's trying to get off the planet. So our boy, double entendre. Our boy is Rook, and he is friends with all the crows. And he's got a buddy named Swine, who's friends with all the pigs.
I think I see where this is going.
Yeah, you get it. So that's kind of the book. He's roaming around looking for parts to fix his spaceship so that he can get off this planet. And he does run afoul of an evil warden. Afoul.
Bird joke?
It is you got it. He runs afoul of an evil warden who is in charge of the bears, called Ursa, like Ursa, but he's got a chainsaw.
Like Ursa Major.
You get it.
Are these people from Earth?
Yeah, they're all people like humans.
Okay.
They just have, they're like employees of the company that sent all the people to this planet to colonize.
Okay.
And their job on the planet would have been to like make sure that all the crows are okay, or all the pigs are okay. But instead, because this planet is like destroyed and post-apocalyptic, they use the animals to fight.
So like a weird interpretation of Pokemon.
Dude, yeah, it's like a dope, but you only have like 100 Charizards. Or like 50 Squirtles, you know?
Crow, peck.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's writing this?
They're all written by Jeff Johns.
Fucking madman.
All 3 of them. Jason Fabok did Rook Exodus.
Okay.
Gary Frank did Geiger. And Brian Hitch did Red Coat. Yeah.
I will say that I do enjoy the writing by Jeff Johns. The art is next level 90s action comic.
They're
resurgence.
And across all 3 of these books, they're all so good. The art is so good.
Like, I will pay this team a huge kudos in that they have figured out the tone for this series, and like they nailed it. Nailed it. Got it in one. And the fact that they're sticking to it so well is a pretty big testament to how committed they are to this book and series and this crossover stuff. So that is very cool to see.
I think all in all, this first wave of Ghost Machine books is going to be good. I will probably continue reading all of them. I don't know that I'll pick up all the Ghost Machine books. You know, I'll probably pass on like Junkyard Joe or whatever. Flipping through.
You gotta get First President or First Ghost.
First Ghost, I'm definitely going to be picking up. But, you know, there's like whatever the Northerner The Monster, Widow X, Unknown War. You know, I don't know that I'm going to be all in on Ghost Machine. But at least these first 3 books are super fun. And if you had to pick one, I would say go with Rook Exodus because it's not tied to all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But you still get a lot of like fun action stuff. Oh yeah, and the other one that I'm super excited about is Hyde Street.
That's the horror stuff, right?
The horror anthology book, yeah. So Ghost Machine off to a really solid start. Homie Blake's Buzz did an interview with Johns and Hitch, right? He got Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch to talk about Ghost Machine. So go check that episode of Blake's Buzz out. I'm sure there's a lot of lessons to be gleaned whenever you interview somebody like Jeff Johns.
I mean, the guy's been in the industry for so long.
1,000 years.
He probably has so many stories that, that episode could be like 6 hours long and he hadn't even scratched the surface of what he's done.
Yeah, exactly. So 3 Ghost Machine books, 3 hits. I'll say that.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Deadpool.
Yep.
What's going on?
Number 1.
What's going on?
Oh yeah, you haven't been keeping up on Deadpool, have you?
There's a symbiote dog.
Yep.
Who's
you
that?
Got it.
Who is
so
that?
in the previous volume of Deadpool got infected with a clone of Carnage.
Okay.
So for a lot of issues, he like had an arm like sticking out of his chest, right? Eventually, Princess, that symbiote dog that weighs like 4,000 pounds, that's what burst out of him.
Oh.
So it was supposed to be controlled by the villain of the story, yada, yada, yada. It is Deadpool's like friend now. His pet.
Seems like a child.
Yeah. His pet symbiote dog.
Okay.
So
that's all I needed.
That catches you up to, and I did they explain that in the back, like in the front, the filler material or whatever.
Maybe. I was just like, it was like that even wasn't even the part I was like confused by. I was just like, oh, okay, like this looks like a symbiote dog. We're just gonna go.
Yeah,
we're just gonna go with that.
They mention it in the material at the front of the book, but there's a lot that was not explained. And as someone who did read the entirety of the last Deadpool volume, I did not put 2 and 2 together that somebody picking up this first issue would be extremely confused.
Confused is an understatement. This just seemed really convoluted for a Deadpool story. This number 1 just seemed, I don't know, just the pacing is very odd for me. I don't know if you felt the same or not.
Sorry. I followed it pretty okay, but I was also already invested in the Deadpool Princess stuff. So I liked seeing them interact. I felt the same way about this issue as I did kind of with Redcoat, where there was a lot of like yada 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 Deadpool being Deadpool. And then the cool stuff was like at the end when they introduce whatever Glad Hand, Death Hand.
Oh yeah, is that Doctor Strange?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's a clone of Strange or like Doctor Strange's brother.
Yeah.
But there's like a death cult, death magic guy.
Yes.
Who's like interested in Deadpool because Deadpool can't die.
And so I'm just like, is that tying into Blood Hunt somehow? You're right. The coolest part of this book was the last 4 or 5 pages.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that stuff is cool. It's well written. Cody Ziegler wrote it.
Spider-Punk.
I'm a fan of his. The art was good. But yes, now that my like rose-colored glasses have taken off, I totally understand how the majority of this book would be extremely confusing. And on top of that, there is kind of a lot of character setup, which is odd for a character who is as ubiquitous as Deadpool.
No, I agree.
You know, did we need to have the Deadpool stuff when we know that it's Deadpool?
That's the main misstep with Deadpool. It's like you guys spend too much time introducing us to Deadpool. Deadpool now is as synonymous as Superman or Batman. We get the bit. We know what's happening. The movies explained it so well. Like, just go. Yeah. Just go. When there's a new Superman #1, we don't go through the whole backstory of who he is or where he came from. It's fucking Superman. We know this already. Yeah. Just go with the story. Yeah, I'm totally there with you on that one. That's so frustrating when they do that.
I am interested to hear your final vote. Like, was this a good book? Because again, I was all in on the last Deadpool story and really enjoyed it. So I, as a up-to-date reader, really enjoyed this book, and I'm interested to see where it goes.
I think it will be a good book. It's just it's unfortunate that it didn't solidify it in the first issue.
Yeah.
Except for the last couple pages, there is a small hint of like something creepier going on. I think it wasted too much time explaining who the character was and all the backstory and the back and forth between the symbiote dog and all that, when it's just like, man, we didn't need that.
Yeah.
Just trim it up. Trim it up. Come
on. Were you also lost with the like epilogue pages?
So he has a daughter now.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's had a daughter since Brian Posehn and Jerry Dugan were writing.
Oh, okay.
So he's had a daughter for 7 or 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, as was evidenced by those last couple of pages, she has not really been, around.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool has not been around. So again, as someone who is like up to date on Deadpool lore or whatever, it was cool to see that she's going to be folded into this story more.
Yeah. It didn't confuse me. I just went with it because that's the same situation with the dog. I was like, okay, well, I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan, so I clearly have missed some things, but it's simple enough. I'm just like, okay, daughter, gotcha. Okay, talking symbiote dog, good to go. It's just like the storytelling itself. I was just like, it needs to pick up the pace. There has to be a certain rhythm to Deadpool comics that is different than like a Captain America story.
Yeah.
Or it's different than a Green Lantern story. Like, there has to be brevity, humor. You can throw in some ennui now and again, but like the dialogue has to be conversational. Like, the action has to like flow. It's just, and I think I know Cody Ziegler can smash this book. I just maybe get out of your own head a little bit and just have fun, explore the space.
Honestly, it kind of felt like someone at Marvel editorial was like, you have to write a first issue that includes the word chimichanga and a pop culture reference and Deadpool getting mutilated. It felt like they were like checking off stuff.
Yeah, you have to hit the beats.
Yeah, and because honestly, it didn't feel like after reading Spider-Punk, whatever it was 2 weeks ago, this did not read like the same writer.
No.
So,
which is fine, but it just needs to find your footing, find your flow, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think I do think this series is going to pick up from here. Not that this book was bad. I think it was good, but maybe if you're not like the world's biggest Deadpool head, this is not the number one to start with.
Yeah, it'll probably go right past you.
Yeah. Is that all you read?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll talk about one more. So I also brought this to the pod. This is from Magma.
Yes. Yeah,
I talked about their sampler a while back.
Mm-hmm.
But their first book came out this week. It's called The Principles of Necromancy.
Mm-hmm. I was so excited to read this.
Yeah, this book is sick. So this is Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, and Emon Winkle did the art. It is about a necromancer. Honestly, I don't think the preview did it justice because this book is so good. It's so awesome. How to describe it? I would call it a medieval body horror story.
Stop. You've struck oil.
You struck gold. Yeah, I know, right? So it's about this. The first issue is a framing story, right? So it's a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
But the story of the necromancer is going to continue. But this framing story is about this tribe of barbarians who are losing a war to like medieval knights, right? Like city versus rural people. The rural people are losing. So this necromancer rolls into town and he says, I can help you win. So yada, yada, yada. They keep getting messed up. The necromancer basically turns them into like zombies and they still keep losing. And I don't, all right, I'll spoil the big thing at the end.
The big bad is Redcoat.
Yeah, this is also in the Ghost Machine.
This is also in the Ghost Machine crossover. Okay.
No, so the at the end of the book, the necromancer has melded all the members, all the warriors in this tribe into one big flesh golem.
Yes, fuck yes, I'm in. Stop talking.
That he tells, and the golem is like led by the guy who's like telling the story to us, the reader.
Mm-hmm.
But the necromancer says that you're going to live forever as this like horrible monstrosity.
Oof.
And that's like where the story
ends. That monstrosity became Donald Trump.
And that monstrosity became Savage Dragon. No. So and that's where the book ends. And, you know, the necromancer walks off and he says, I have all this like stuff to do, things to learn, whatever. But it was terrifying in that way that it's like existential dread, right? You know, this tribe of warriors got what they wanted. They defeated their enemy, but the cost was like not only their humanity, but like everything. I mean, absolutely everything, right? And then we get this like ghost of a guy in the necromancer. You know, we don't know where he came from. We don't know why he's doing what he's doing. We don't know how he's doing what he's doing. And that's going to be the rest of this book.
I'm so amped for that. This sounds incredible.
It's so good. I cannot recommend this highly enough. And I think the rest of these Magma books are going to be just as good.
Yeah. The sampler you brought was phenomenal.
So good. And there wasn't even any pages in there from Scale Trade. That's the one that I'm most excited about.
Yes.
The one about dragon poachers.
Yeah.
So Magma's knocking it out of the park. Again, Principles of Necromancy is the book of the week for sure.
Sick.
So
right on. Sounds like a good heap of books.
Yeah, it was a big old stocked pile.
Stanky week of comics.
Stank ass week.
Well, just like every good stanky day of comic books has to come to an end, so does this episode of First Issue Club. As a reminder, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/First Issue Club. We're out on YouTube. We're on all the social medias. Look for us at C2E2 this year. We'll be doing a panel with Oblivion Bar Pod and Short Box Podcast with our friends Botter Milligan and Chris and Aaron from the Oblivion Bar Pod. What else? That's pretty much it. This week has shown us that in the comic book community, we need a lot of compassion, understanding, and communication. So as a reminder to everyone out there who is feeling lost or forgotten or scared, if you feel like your only option is the worst option right now, please call the suicide hotline. It is a lifeline for you and for anyone who thinks that they don't have any other options. You do. You will be missed. You are loved. Please do not make irreversible decisions without talking to someone who can help you and give you resources to help yourself. With that, we'll be signing off. Andy, lead us out.
Bye.
First Issue Club is edited and produced by Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. Follow us on social media at First Issue Club, and check out our Patreon for videos, audio, and more at patreon.com/First Issue Club.